Everyone. You may be wondering why I'm posting the Project 2 rubric video in week 5. This is not a mistake. The week 5 assignment is actually your first draft of Project 2. So I want to give you an idea of where this is going, with my feedback for the week 5 assignment helping you make changes for the project. Before getting into the rubric, a note about the differences between grades for the two. The Project 2 has exemplary, the draft does not. So that means that if you have received a proficient on a category in the draft, it does not mean that it is perfect and needs no changes. I will still be suggesting ways that you can improve it. The first two criterion on the rubric are about the introduction. So the very first paragraph of your essay. The first thing that we are looking for is the overview. When your reader begins your essay, and I say that because the introduction does not have to be the first thing that you write. In fact, I recommend you do it afterwards and using the magic of technology, take it and move it to the first paragraph. But it is the first thing your reader sees. So when your reader begins your essay, they should not find your thesis right away. Instead, you should introduce your project first. This is the issue that people are dealing with and why you are addressing it. That's the so what of your paper. So that's the first thing I am grading. You might have heard about opening sentences, making them pop. The most important thing for your first and the sentences following your introduction is actually that it orients your reader, helps them understand what is happening. And then at the very end of that paragraph is the thesis, which it should be the last sentence, maybe the last two, but try to condense it into one. You will do the thesis statement by itself in one of the Mind Edge activities, but a proficient or exemplary thesis should tell us what stance you're taking. So if there are two sides to an issue, which one are you on? And the 3 key points. Essentially, the thesis serves as a roadmap to your paper to tell us what you are going to do. The key to good academic writing, and probably other forms, maybe a novel, is tell your audience what you're going to do, tell them, and then tell them what you already told them. The tell your audience what you are going to do part, of course, was the introduction. The tell them part is the body. Now, the next 3 criteria, all labeled body, are not exactly in order like they are normally for assignments. Rather, you should have parts for the main idea and argument support for each of the 3 key points, so approximately 3 paragraphs. And possibly another for opposing viewpoint. So the main idea and argument support first. These are linked to the TEA or T formula mentioned in the Mind Edge reading this week. So at the beginning of the body paragraph, you should have the main idea. This should be in the form of a topic sentence. That's what the T is. Each paragraph should have a topic sentence connecting it back to your thesis and also connecting it to the other paragraph. So I recommend using the old new contract. So I was talking about this one thing, but now I'm going to talk about this other thing because of this connecting thread, whatever that may be. Then the next thing you have is argument support, some kind of evidence that you are explaining how it supports your thesis. So combining ideas. So this could be a quotation, a summary, a paraphrase. Any way you want to do it is fine. Just please make sure to cite it properly in either MLA or APA format. These are both the E and the A of that acronym, evidence and analysis. A proficient or exemplary fulfillment of this criteria gives evidence that you have analyzed, that you have looked at beyond the obvious of what is in that piece of evidence, but explored it in detail for how you are interpreting it. Another way of describing this is the sandwich method. The quote sandwich, or the sandwich method. So you have your main idea, topic sentence, that's the top piece of the bread. This also includes so-and-so says, according to X, etc. Then the quotation is the center of it. It looks like some sort of cold cut in images of this, but whatever you like to eat. And then the analysis is the bottom piece of bread. That's the part that supports the rest. If you don't have that, the meat or cheese or whatever you have here is just hanging out there. It gets dirty, it gets messy. You need that bottom part. The next criterion is also a part of the body, but that is the opposing viewpoint. You should have at least one paragraph where you engage with the other side of the argument. What might your opponent say, and how can you refute that? So a really exemplary example of that will ultimately be supporting your argument, but not in such a way that, oh, the original opposing argument had no ground to stand on. It should have been a reasonable opposition, and you should engage with it in a thoughtful manner. The next two, but not the last criteria, have to do with the conclusion. The conclusion should do two things. First, summarize what you have already said. And then go back to the evidence. Explain by using whatever it is you have used, fill in the blank. Your audience should do X. So give them your final conclusions still linked to what you have done before. Your conclusion shouldn't come from out of nowhere, but tie up the threads that you had in your paper. And the final criterion, or one you have heard before, articulation of response, proofreading and such like, and citations and attributions. Make sure that you give every source you use credit in the proper format. Again, MLA or APA, it is up to you. I will provide a link to Purdue OWL if you have questions about this format. And academic support also has regular workshops on the subject, so I recommend that you sign up for one. As always, let me know if you have any questions. You can reach me at j.alberghini@snhu.edu or post on the general questions forum. Bye!